Hey everyone, Jordan Fry here from the Prudent Plastic Surgeon, and I'm really excited to be joined by one of our key resources, Zachary Ducharme from Pipeline Medical. So Zachary, why don't I just pass it over to you? Tell us a little bit about yourselves and your company and everything you do, which is some really amazing stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. So again, my name is Zachary Ducharme. I'm the CEO of Pipeline Medical. We're a medical supplier that's been around for about 15 years in the industry. What's unique about our stories, we were actually founded by facial plastic surgeons back in 2007 as a way to really optimize the supply chain for physicians, single practitioners, physician offices, and the plastic surgeons, obviously, to really find a way to get consistent products at a reasonable price, right? Realizing that there is savings to be had and power to leverage with buying power. So the company was really started by, a pair of brothers actually that are both facial plastic surgeons and a number of their fellows. The company has since evolved quite substantially in 2017, purchased by private equity. And I came on board at that time as well. And really, we've been accelerating this, our organization since then, based on the foundation of, what the doctors really instilled within the company, right? How do we create consistent products at reasonable prices and really become more than just a supplier and have a transformative model within the industry to be an advocate and champion for the doctors and the practices. So our company is more of a med tech marketplace where we have direct relationships with a number of suppliers, distributors, and manufacturers, able to leverage that buying power. Meanwhile, we also are a GPO channel partner as well, underneath the Vizient and Provista umbrella. So really, we're able to kind of get the best of both worlds in terms of GPO pricing, having our own GPO, and then aggregating our spend and working with fantastic distribution partners, suppliers, and manufacturers to be able to provide these products, in a seamless manner for the organizations that we service. What's a little bit different, like I mentioned, is we're a med tech marketplace. So we have lots of different products and catalogs underneath our easy to use website. So you don't need to go from organization to distributor to manufacturer to find what you're looking for. You can find everything from your table paper, your sutures, your gloves, your pharmaceuticals, your office supply, even down to the injectables and cosmetic products that plastic surgeons are using all the time, really under one organization, a pipeline. And that helps, one, reduce costs and also streamline the back office operations of organizations, right? So they have one supplier to work with, everything comes from us, ships in 2 days, one invoice to handle, account management, and we also do material management services, really working within that with that ordering nurse of every practice to really help ensure that you have the products that are needed, especially during these difficult times where everything seems to be back ordered and even more accelerated due to the different demands that COVID products and PPE has brought. So our team also helps source and supply, finding those products often, that no one else can find, whatever that flavor of the month is from those manufacturers.
I think it's just incredible. And to be started by physicians, so you have that sort of philosophy instilled, and I think what you're doing is incredible. I've been, from my experience on the other side, dealing with tons of different distributors and manufacturers and how challenging that is, both from a cost efficiency standpoint and just the difficulty of, like you said, managing all these different relationships and all the paperwork and et cetera. So I think that's really incredible what you're doing. Could you tell us a little bit about some success stories you've had with practices in terms of, being able to work with them and save overhead? Because I think a lot of times people overlook that aspect and think, oh, this is just what I have to pay, when there's companies like yourselves who are really trying to work with doctors to improve their practices, finances, and optimize their flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great point, Jordan. I mean, oftentimes practices and office managers or whomever are really looking at increasing revenue to increase their overall bottom line. But there's other levers that they can pull, all right, the overhead and the SG&A. So, it's that philosophy of working smarter, not harder. So we're able to often come in and help optimize those practices in their material management, right? Oftentimes it's overlooked. People think there's not a lot of options. You have your major players within the industry, and that's it. And oftentimes, plastic surgeons, dermatologists, those offices that we serve kind of think this is all I have. I'm a single entity. It's kind of what is served to me is what I get. I don't have much power. So, the doctors originally that instilled the organization really wanted to provide more power and more options to, themselves and, their fellows as well. So that's what Pipeline does, right? We go in there and we can provide that additional savings. We can provide the additional support. It's not uncommon for organizations to save anywhere from 20 to 50% on their materials.
Wow.
Again, because of the optimizations that we're doing on the back end as well. So same product, same name brands. Sometimes it's even coming from, one of the competitor distributors out there. But it's the exact same product, high quality. There's nothing, there's no voodoo magic that we're doing or smoke and mirrors. It's coming direct from those manufacturers or suppliers. It's really just understanding the intricacies of the industry and to be able to cut through the chaoticness of the back end of the industry that people don't want to deal with, right? The GPOs, the connections, the contracting, the compliances, which a lot of times my guess is your user base doesn't really have the expertise or the time and willingness to go through that because they're focused on patient care. Yeah. So that's where we come in, really trying to partner with that ordering nurse or sometimes a material management team and becoming part of a partnership within that material management or of the organization to take on that burden and the complexity so that, the doctors and the physicians can really focus on patient care while we can focus on optimizing their back office, reducing their overhead through product costs, right? So ultimately there's after salaries, the highest line item on an expense sheet is typically your materials, right? The products that you're using to perform your surgeries or procedures. So if we can come in and really without much lift from an office to provide 20 to 40% savings and 8 to 12 hours that you get back as a physician. So you can provide additional patient care or, maybe take the afternoon, go golfing, whatever it is, we can streamline that for you. And that's really what we've been successful doing for the last 15 years. And we continue to optimize that. So that number continues to grow. We become as an organization stronger and better at doing that, which obviously translates down to our customer base as we get better and stronger.
Well, I think anyone listening is going to be really appreciative of 8 to 12 hours of their time and 20 to 30% off of their overhead there. So that's really impressive.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing about it is, it's not impactful. There's not a lot of disruption to a practice, right? There's the initial lift, like anything from changing one provider to another and going online and learning a new website, right? The typical example I always give when we're talking about this, it's like when your cell phone provider changes what the home screen looks like, you probably freak out for the first day or a couple hours. But once you pick it up and start playing with it, everything is there. It's just maybe in a different place. The same thing happens when you change a supplier. Websites are the same. We've modeled our website based off of the gold standards in the industry and also, the Amazons of the world, because that's what we're used to. Same thing, same look, same feel, things just might be in a different place. And so because of that, there's very little disruption to our consumer base once they go past that first hurdle.
Okay. And what kind of practices are you working with? Because there's going to be some listeners who maybe are employed within a much larger corporation or institution, other people who are just solo practitioners. Who kind of are you working with?
Yeah, so really we work with everything from that solo practitioner to a hospital and large IDN system. Really, there's no practice too small, to practice too large. Ultimately, our sweet spot, has been in the plastics, derm, facial plastics, med spa, anywhere from a single office to maybe 30 offices underneath a roll-up. And some of those small to mid-sized hospitals as well. But, during COVID, it's not uncommon for us to it wasn't uncommon for us, and still is, to be able to support some of the large IDNs that are really the blue chips and the name brands across the industry too.
Awesome. Well, Zachary, I just want to thank you again for all the support that you've given our group and the prune plastic surgeon overall, and for everything you're doing to help doctors around the country. If anybody wants to get in touch with you or is interested in using Pipeline, how should they go about doing that?
Yeah, the easiest way is just to visit our website, pipelinemedical.com. You'll be able to quickly see all the products that we have, probably everything that you use today. There is a contact us page on there, or you can register. It takes about 2 minutes to set up an account and start purchasing. When you do fill out that information, one of our account managers will reach out, and really they're going to be assigned to you during your entire journey here with Pipeline, and help support you with everything you need. So we do have that high touch approach, kind of that Nordstrom model rather than the Walmart, as we like to call it internally, because everybody has their own needs and everybody's practice is the most important to them, and we understand that and respect that. So you will have that intimate relationship, should you want it, with one of an account manager, and they'll help you out throughout the entire journey.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much, and thank you for putting up with my loss of voice. So Zachary Ducharme from Pipeline Medical, and definitely encourage anyone looking for a way to improve their medical supplier to look into Pipeline.
Great. Thank you, Jordan.